Hi, my name is John Bueno, and I am one of the researchers that are part of this project. And in this afternoon, I'm going to share with you some of the details of this project. So let me share my presentation. Okay. So this project is called The Impact of VR Social Cues on Learners' Cognitive Load, Social Presence, and Learning Performance. My name is John Bueno Vesga, as I said before, and we are working together with Amanda Stafford and Associate Professor Singhao Xu of the School of Information Science and Learning Technologies. Let me give you a little bit of background of this study. So in 2014, Richard Mayer published the 12 principles for designing effective multimedia materials for instruction. So this has been almost a standard and a guide for instructional designers creating learning experiences using multimedia. Now, 4 of those principles are based on a very interesting theory, is the social agency theory. Now, this theory says that learners are more motivated to learn if they see pedagogical agents as social partners, meaning a learner will put more effort into trying to learn if they see the person conveying the knowledge is a partner in learning, is a social partner in learning. So those principles are the principle of personalization, voice, image, and embodiment. Now, the principle of personalization is basically people will learn if the message is more given in a common language than in a formal language, right? The voice principle says that people will learn better if the voice is a human-like natural voice. And the principle of embodiment is a principle that says that people will learn better if the social partner, the pedagogical agent, displays social cues like eye gaze or gestures or movements that are very human-like, let's say. So if the pedagogical agent is able to show or to display these levels of embodiment, there will be a better transfer of knowledge. Okay, so Mayer did an experiment in which an instructor will show or will explain the Doppler effect, for example, in 2 scenarios. In the first scenario, the instructor will explain by drawing the actions and drawing the explanation of the Doppler effect. And in another scenario, the person will explain the same concept, but with all the drawings already on the board, let's say. So in which scenario do you think people will learn more? Now, people may think that in either scenario, since it's same person, same instructor, same knowledge, people will learn the same. Well, they found otherwise. They found that people will learn better if the instructor will draw as he or she explains the concept. And now this is related to the social agency theory because it says that the learners will, together with the instructor, they will try to draw and they will see the effort the instructor is doing in trying to convey the knowledge or the message. And that will exert an higher levels of effort in order to learn. And that will be translated into a higher transfer of knowledge. Okay, he did an early experiment in VR. You know, Meyer did an experiment in VR in which he compared levels of immersion and just to see how much physical presence was perceived by the learners. Now, this was an early experiment, and of course, the graphics at that time were not as good and the technology was not as good as today, but they couldn't find any difference between a 2D non-immersive environment and a 3D immersive environment. So they found no difference from the point of view of learning. Now, technology has changed a lot, and VR technology has changed a lot. And we intend to reproduce this experiment by using modern VR technology. Of course, this is immersive technology, but we want to focus on social cues to see if there is significant difference in learning. So we are going to have two interventions, and one of them will have an instructor that displays a social cues like, you know, human-like characteristics and gestures and eye gaze and movements, and will exemplify the concepts by drawing as he explains. Now, in the other intervention, we're going to have, as you can see, a character that does not, even though has a human-like characteristics, it has no face gestures or eye gaze or hand movements. So we call it low embodiment. So this is going to be the low embodiment, and we call the other the high embodiment. Now, let me show you a little bit and a video in which you could see better what we are talking about. So you can see, you know, the natural movements, let's say, of this of the instructor in this case, and the drawing as the instructor explains, of the concepts. Now, something that we have designed is what is going to be the subject area. So we chose electronics as the subject area because this is an area that is, let's say, simple enough for the subjects that we have chosen and is not too hard. So most people won't be familiar with these concepts. So, but also they are not going to be of extreme or too high complexity. So this is just a circuit building challenge. So they will be taught by the pedagogical agent the basic concepts on circuitry, on electronics, let's say, and they will have a, let me show you a little bit some more what are our research questions. So our first research question will be, will learners in a modern immersed VR environment for which a high embodiment pedagogical agent or avatar delivers instruction show significantly greater learning performance than those in which a low embodiment pedagogical agent delivers the same instruction? Will they perceive higher social presence? Will they perceive lower cognitive load? So we intend to compare these two groups and see if one group, the one with the avatar with high embodiment features or high social cues, will display better learning gains, better learning performance, higher social presence, and perceive lower cognitive load. So we intend to do a pre-test and post-test to assess the knowledge. We are also going to do an application activity. So after they learn the basic concepts, we're going to see if there is a knowledge transfer, and by giving them a challenge in which they have to finish or complete a circuit, electronic circuit. And at the end of the intervention, we're going to give them a social presence and cognitive load surveys to measure and then be able to compare the two groups. So we hypothesize that students learning from a pedagogical agent exhibiting high embodiment features in a VR learning environment will show significantly higher learning performance, higher social presence, and lower cognitive load than the students learning from a pedagogical agent exhibiting low embodiment. So it is, as you see, it is basically a confirmation or a modern confirmation of the major principle, and see if the principle that he proved that works with real pedagogical agents works in VR with avatars also, based on the fact that modern technology is much more realistic than the technology he used early when he did his experiment. Now, we were expecting at this point to have a pilot study already finished, but unfortunately the limitations of this pandemic has posed an complication for our study, and we were not able to finish the pilot in order to show some previous data. However, we thought it would be important to share with you the insights of this project in order to collect from you your feedback. So if you find something that will be useful in this project, or something of your interest, or you have any question, I would like you to please send us a message to this email, jab55d@umsystem.edu. So please send us a message if you feel that like something should be improved in the design of our study, or if you have a question about this study. So thank you very much for your participation and for your attention to this presentation. Have a good afternoon.